And it doesn't seem to me like there's a lot of people in the media that even want to go down these roads. So I've asked you a while back, would you send me a tweet? Go on Twitter. Get on Twitter and email tips. Tweet a story and an email. Well, we try to look at every single one of them as fast as we can. We try to get as many of them as we can. But this one came from a watchdog about Chicago, and it caught my eye late last week. Chicago and the Climate Exchange. In case you don't know what the Climate Exchange is, CCX, Chicago Climate Exchange, you didn't even know it existed. It does. And it started trading in 2003. It is billed as North America's only cap-and-trade system for all 6 greenhouse gases, with global affiliates and projects worldwide. The members voluntarily, but legally, they're bound. They voluntarily get bound to this agreement to meet all annual greenhouse gas emission reduction targets. That's fantastic. Seeing that it is voluntary, I got no problem with it. But it's about to not be voluntary. That's where the problem sets in. So now, I guess before I tell you what this thing is about to become, in case you don't know what cap and trade is a scheme designed to transfer wealth from companies that have to companies that have not, through regulation of invisible gases. Cass Sunstein, he's the regulatory god. This is going to be so easy. Let me explain. Remember, it was a scheme. Who loved it the most? Enron. Enron heavily lobbied for this type of system because they knew, I mean, they were the kings of swindle. They knew, whoa, we're going to make so much money because we just bundle up energy and sell it. We don't really create anything. Here's how it works. This is a evil rich company, a big evil rich company in a big evil rich country. So they make all kinds of invisible gas. They actually make shoes for people like in the poor country, but don't worry about that. Don't think about that. They make invisible gas, and there's too much invisible gas. So the evil rich company, it either can go out of business or downsize, stop making shoes for everybody, or they can buy some of these puffy clouds that way across the water in a not evil poor country is a not evil small company making like one shoe. They can't even make the pair. They just make one shoe. So they don't make as many puffy clouds. So what do? This evil rich company, which I hate, takes their money and they give it to the not evil small company. Okay? And then they sell them clouds. They sell them their invisible gas. Here. Look, I made it just for you. Can't see it? Oh, of course you can't. It's invisible. Now how much will you pay? It's great, isn't it? Oh, yeah. So they sell that cloud that doesn't exist over here so they can make it. Man, I love that. It almost looks like you're just transferring dollars from here to here. But don't think about that too much, because that looks like Marxism. That's definitely not Marxism or a scam. This is real. Now, environmentalists like Barack Obama say this system will make prices skyrocket. No, I got that right. Make prices skyrocket. Because that's what he wants to happen. Because people will be forced to use less energy. Now, I don't want to be accused of having to call and say, oh, you guys, I'll just let him say it. Right out of his mouth. Here he is.
Under my plan of a cap-and-trade system, electricity rates would necessarily skyrocket.
Yeah, they would. They would. Just like here. Okay, if Michael Moore just wants to buy up everybody's cupcakes, okay, he'll do it. But he's rich, remember? The poor fat person that's not rich, they can't afford to buy the cupcake certificates. So, sucks if you're a small cupcake eater, you're kind of in trouble. So now, who's the main beneficiary? Well, the big corporations and the proponents of redistribution of wealth, but don't think about that one too much. Think about the earth. Don't even think that you're going to be the loser here, because you're going to have to pay more for energy. You concentrate really hard on feeling good because somebody's buying invisible gas to save the planet. Now, other places like Europe, they've tried to implement green initiatives, like Spain. Then they based it on markets. Yeah. Not working out well for Spain. Because as Time unwittingly described, the creation of the Chicago Climate Exchange creates something out of nothing. There's no value behind the market at all. It's kind of like pets.com, except with solar panels that don't exist, or solar panels that are actually puffy clouds of smoke that haven't been made yet. Now, who in their right mind would create something like this? Well, good news. In 2000 and 2001, the Chicago Climate Exchange received startup grants from a great place. Here, this is the Chicago Climate Exchange, okay? They needed money. Where'd they find that money? The Joyce Foundation. Joyce sounds nice. Who is she? Well, she apparently has a lot of money. We don't know who gives her all the money because that's kind of secret stuff. That's private information, you know. By the way, the Joyce Foundation, bigger than the George Soros Tides Foundation. Yeah, it's kind of like that, but bigger. In fact, so big that the Joyce Foundation funds the Tides Foundation. If you don't know who the Tides Foundation is, look it up or refer back to an earlier episode. They also give money to, well, John Ayers, Bill Ayers' brother. Remember Bill Ayers? Yeah. Definitely not a friend of Barack Obama. Doesn't know him. Definitely nowhere near Barack Obama. Joyce Foundation gives money to John Ayers, Bill's brother. Think of the Joyce Foundation as a place where the uber-rich and powerful liberals dump their money so they can spread their cash around to their pet projects without any kind of direct link. Kind of, if it were The Sopranos, money laundering. But this is definitely not The Sopranos. There was one influential member on the board. I don't have it. One influential member on the board of the Joyce Foundation, this company. Very influential. At the time the Chicago Climate Exchange was created. And he made sure that they got the money, okay? Made sure that they're steering the funds towards the creation of the Chicago Climate Exchange. This guy was on the board from 1994 to 2002. In fact, the founder of the Climate Exchange, this guy, Edward Sandor, said that he knew this, Richard Sandor, he knew this person very, very well, which is perhaps how the money got to the Kellogg Graduate School of Management, where Sandor was a research professor. But I'll get back to this person in a minute. Sandor saw big things, big things. This is going to be big, America. How big is the climate exchange market? I'll let him tell you.
How big, ultimately, do you think this market could be?
I think it's a $10 trillion a year market.
Say that again?
$10 trillion a year.
You don't get a hat like that for beans. You just don't do it. $10 trillion a year. That's a lot of capital go around. In comparison, the value of U.S. company shares on major U.S. and foreign stock exchange equities market, $15 trillion. Got it? 10, and they're selling smoke.